Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about step 2 of the recovery journey, becoming knowledgeable. Last video we talked about how you have to admit before any real change can occur that you need help, that your doctor, your partner, your family, they can't help you because they tried, but your anxiety continued. Things started to get worse and remain painful for you. So where do you turn to? Well, for me in my recovery, I turned to the internet. I went online and I typed in obsessing over symptoms, worrying about health, worrying about if I have cancer, and then a mentor popped up, somebody who suffered from anxiety and got better from it. And that was a huge realization for me because I saw someone who spoke my language. They obsessed. They continuously ruminated over their health. They continuously woke up in the middle of the night with panic. And I related to that person. And so my world started to open up a bit. That the answers started to flow from that subject, right? And so the question in today's video is, well, is it possible to improve? Is it possible? Because the old Brad who used to suffer from severe health anxiety, agoraphobia, that Brad thought that this was it. Things aren't changing. I'm in pain. And then pain becomes your new normal. Pain was my new normal. And then discovering that mentor on Google, I realized that there's a possibility that I can change. They changed because I could relate to them, and because they overcame anxiety, that put hope into me that there is a way. And it's important that you find someone that you relate to, but also exude the characteristics that you want to emanate. And that is in part my goal of my YouTube channel, my podcast, is to be that voice. I want you to be the person where you're Googling what I used to Google, and then I want to pop up on your screen and be the awakening, be the catalyst to the change that needs to take place in your life. The same mentor that was the catalyst for my change, I want to be that mentor for you. Now that I've overcome anxiety, I've found the tools, the strategies to overcome it naturally without any medications and with perseverance and discipline. I want to project that message onto you. Now, a mentor has a growth mindset. A mentor understands that through hard work, you are able to change, that anybody is able to change. Because our brains are neuroplastic, meaning we can rewire neuronal pathways. We can change. Now, you have to be willing to start from square one. So, to start from square one, you have to be willing to be the fool and to be bad at this. That there is no quick fix. There is no magic pill. It's through hard work. It's through discipline. It's through perseverance that will get you to that state, because you need discipline to rewire neuronal pathways. The brain needs constant routine to get the message. Robin Sharma, who wrote a book I highly recommend called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, he says in the book that discipline is like a wire made up of tiny, small wires. Each wire, you can look at it as a habit. So one wire could be meditation, another wire could be watching your mentors on YouTube, listening to a self-help podcast. Another discipline could be getting up at 5:30 a.m. every day. Another discipline could be journaling every day or mindfulness practices every day. And that makes up the totality of the disciplined personality, right? And so to make a strong wire, you need small wires to make up that strong wire. So the point I'm trying to make is that discipline is necessary for anxiety recovery. So at the beginning of my recovery, what I was doing was I was watching my mentors, or that one mentor on YouTube, and listening to his podcast and learning, because I was so determined to overcome this pain I was in. So because I was sitting there learning, I was adopting a growth mindset, because I was transitioning from this set mindset using words like, I can't change, I won't change, it's impossible, it's too painful, I'll never change, it's hopeless, to words like, I can change, I see someone who changed right here, this person, it's possible, I can learn, figure out, it's a challenge, I have to change, I want to change. What if I can change? What if there is a way? So these new words that facilitate the growth mindset started to bubble up to the surface, and I was speaking to myself in a way where I was giving myself hope. I was giving myself hope that there is a way out. And that's a great strategy to implement if you think you are stuck in anxiety and pain, using the what if switch technique. Switching those thoughts of what if I have cancer? What if I'll never get out of this? What if I am unhealthy? What if I do have that panic attack today? To switching those statements to, what if I don't have cancer? What if I don't have a panic attack today? What if I am healthy? And that starts to break the pattern. You can look at your brain as these pathways that have been built up with anxious patterns well practiced, and they need to be unlearned. These patterns need to be broken up. And you have to start switching your routine, switching your environments. So at this point in my recovery, I started to leave the house and sit at coffee shops for 5 hours a day. I would go to the coffee shop down the road. I would sit there and watch my mentors talk about anxiety, learn about the strategies and techniques about anxiety and how to get to that better place mentally and physically. And what I was doing was, first of all, I was afraid of leaving my safe zone. So I was desensitizing myself by going to the coffee shop and sitting there. I was strengthening my mind because I was suffering from agoraphobia. But at the same time, I was learning while I was sitting there, but also disciplining myself, because I was an anxious guy. I was running around all day, doing many things, unable to sit still, too many thoughts. Now, I was beginning to sit in one place and focus on something for a period of time, because I was so determined to overcome the pain I was in. I was so determined to lessen my anxiety, and I started to feel my anxiety lessening because I had a goal, right? And that's what we talked about last video, having that goal, having that sort of aim, that now there's something to strive for. All this information is becoming more condensed now. At the beginning of this process, when you start to learn, when I started to learn about anxiety, you're going to feel like a fool. Your unconscious mind will do what it can to drag you back into your old patterns because that's what it knows. It wants to keep you in familiar territory. And our primitive brains, our primitive brain wants to keep us from experiencing pain. And new information, a new habit that you introduce is painful because of the feelings of, well, I'm bad at it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just stumbling about in this new habit. And so your unconscious will try and drag you back into old patterns, going back on social media, going back on Dr. Google, going back to your doctors, touching parts of your body continuously. And so because you're going through this new process, you're gathering this new information, your inadequacies will pop up because the mentor that you're watching and subjecting yourself to will talk about the state that they're in, the outer onion, they will talk about the accomplishments that they've attained, and that'll bring about your inadequacies because you have a lot to learn. You're not there yet. And so I hope that you have a mentor, and it could be me mentoring you, where they talk about the process, how they got from point A to point B, and then to C, and then to D, and you need to know that process because it doesn't help to look up to somebody who doesn't guide you through the beginning stages where you will feel inadequate, you will have setbacks, you will experience failure, and that's really important. And also, you want somebody to talk about discipline and what tools they implement every day to maintain mental and physical health. And so information is tools. Information puts you in formation towards the ideal you. And your actions are more sophisticated than the representation of the action. So begin to act out the person that you want to be like in the future, and that may include watching your mentors on YouTube or listening to them. You're acting out and you're telling yourself that this is what I want. Because I'm watching Brad right now here on YouTube, this is what I want. I want to learn about anxiety. I want to change. I believe that I can get to a higher place. And that's where I'm going to leave you on today's video. Thank you so much for being here with me. Please check out my anxiety recovery program because it helps add structure and order to your life. And it's really crucial for someone suffering from anxiety because they don't have structure or order happening. They're trying to grab onto that order, and the program helps you do that. And lastly, do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be one of the first to know. Namaste.